Okie dokie, I wanted to make a video quick. I like to consider myself a bit of an audiophile, but I guess we'll start out with I had an issue with the woofer on my Focal system. I was driving up to Dad's one day, and all of a sudden, I had the music pretty loud, but I always have the bass one bar above the bass line on the Pioneer radio system. So not too much and not too little. Not that these woofers offer you any kind of bass. They more offer you more of a feeling in the door panel. You don't feel a thump in your leg as much. You don't hear any bass. You just feel the bass. Okay. So with that, it sounded like it blew out one day. I'm just driving, and all of a sudden it just started rattling, popping, just sounded like complete and utter garbage. So I turned the bass all the way down, and I went back to normal. Turned the bass back up, started rattling again. Great. And, here's the weird part. The one day I will, the second instance, it wasn't rattling anymore. I turned the bass up, wasn't rattling, but you put your ear down here and you could hear a kind of a crackly-ish sound, not anything you're hearing while you're driving, just with your head down there. Probably wasn't as clear as the passenger side, so obviously something wasn't right. The weird part is that now it's perfectly normal. You don't hear anything different. I don't know. I can't hardly tell because there's almost nothing that comes out of the woofers to begin with. Now, there's no sound of bass. You just feel the bass. There's no real vocals that come out of it. It's really muffled. It's really quiet of anything that comes out of it. And I think it's because the flax material. They call it flax. I don't know what the hell it is. It looks nice with the beige interior, right? But other than that, I don't know that I'm a big fan of the flax. Because the mid-range, you'd expect to have a normal person's vocals, right? Like, I'm talking to you. I'm that crystal clear. I'm that audible. Maybe not super deep because it's not meant for bass. It's just meant to get the midpoint of your voice out. Then the deep part is from the woofer, and then the high parts of your voice, the squeaky-ish, whatever, comes out of the tweeter, right? But no, you put your hand over your mouth, and this is kind of what it sounds like coming out of the mid-range. That's disappointing. But that's when your head up next to it. When you're away from it, it's clearer. Now, I understand there's probably a point where the sound waves have to disperse. They have to something. I don't know. Science? Who knows? But the whole point I'm getting at is I've just been disappointed with this flax Focal system compared to the Focal system I have in my 2001. But granted, this is a three-piece system. It's a woofer, a mid-range, and a tweeter, where the other one is a two-channel component system where it's only a woofer, which has a vocal coil in the center, and a tweeter, no mid-range. And the vocal coil inside the woofer obviously allows for the voice you're hearing now coming out of the speaker a lot, out of the vocal coil a lot as I'm saying it. So I was disappointed in the mid-range. And then the bass, the lack of bass from the woofer, I understand it. They're not meant for bass. They're not. That's what the subwoofer is for. And that's what the subwoofer in the console does tremendously. I think if these put out bass, it'd highly be competing. If not, they'd be canceling each other out. Okay, so I get that. And when you're playing piano, it brings out the piano very beautifully. That's the main thing with instrumental music. I was just going to say instruments in general, but instrumental music only. It is very beautiful. It is as if you're sitting right next to the piano. You're feeling every keystroke or every key punch, however you want to say it. You're feeling every note of that piano. You're hearing every note. You're feeling it. You're hearing it. You're absolutely hearing it. It's beautiful when you're listening to that. And when you have HD music or, music that isn't compromised in any way, we should say. This system performs very, very clear and very, very well. I love it. It's as if you're sitting in front of the band. It's just awesome. Okay. Now, as I had a problem with the woofer, Crutchfield sent me out a replacement kit, a replacement speaker set. And here it is. Okay. Unfortunately, my model was discontinued. So what we have here is mine is the Flax Ps165F3, and this is the E version right here. So they sent me out. Now my kit retailed for $630. I know, jaw-dropping, holy shit. But let me tell you, it sounds amazing when you have high-quality audio. Okay, but this kit retails for $1,000, $999.99. They upgraded me because they didn't have my old kit in stock anymore. That sounds awesome, right? I was excited. There were only 2 reviews on this kit because of probably how expensive it is. And the one guy goes, "Sounds great." Great, that's quite the review, thanks. And then the other guy is probably an older gentleman, and he said, "Man, I went from this kit, just this kit, the Ps165F3 to the 165F3. He thought it was a humongous improvement. He just went, wow, all capital letters and an exclamation point. And to be honest, I'm quite let down. Now, like I told you, I was let down the first time I installed this style Flax speaker system. I'm even more let down. The speakers are set at the same power level per side, okay? And as I'm sitting here, I've got my head in the center of the dashboard right about here, and I'm listening between this tweeter and this tweeter, which this one is the new style. New style. Here's the old one. To freaking stupid phone, I tell you, man. I tell you, technology. To that tweeter, okay? So this side kicks this side's ass. The whole 9 yards. I understand that these speakers haven't had a chance to break in yet. I've been listening to music for at least the last 45 minutes in here, playing a variety of different songs that I know sound good with the current system. And with the new system, the old system is kicking the new system's ass. And that's disgusting. Now, I'm not going to say it sounds bad, because everybody has a different sense of what they like to listen to. For me, I like high, rich vocals. The tweeters on the original system bring out a harsher, more piercing amount of treb. Okay? I like that. Not quite as harsh where it hurts your eardrum, but just underneath that. Just a smidge below that, a hair below that. Now, these tweeters go above and beyond in the sense that they dull all the treb. They are more of a vocalist, and I'm not even going to say vocalist. I don't even know what to describe them. They're a smooth, but they're dull. It's kind of like a rich, but it's dull. It's just not as bold. It's not as brash. It's dull. Now, for some people, that's going to be awesome. That's like older people. They don't like the harsher, ear-piercing treb. They like the duller, turn the treb most of the way down while they're listening to talk radio type of thing. I like the treb up because I like to hear the instrumental, the little tings and tangs of the music, where these tweeters do not bring that ting and twang out. They suppress it. And like I was saying, the same power level, this side was kicking this side's ass. I'm just disgusted by that. as far as I can tell, the only difference online was the hertz. And I don't remember what the hertz difference was between the two, but this one the new set had a higher hertz rate. Now I changed the crossover over to the new one, this old one, new one. What I noticed is you could see 150 and 50. That's the new one. And then we bring in the old one that says 150 and 120. That's the only difference I can tell between the two. Otherwise, they're visually identical. They both have the same crossover settings. I had them set the same. And yet, now this is where I hooked up a new tweeter, which is over on the dash there, to the tweeter wire over there. Took that, disconnected that one, and left that box in place. Granted, this is all here because I was planning on changing the system out. Anyway, so I wanted to see if the new tweeter was going to sound just as good as the old tweeter with the same crossover. It did bring it out louder, but it has nothing. And I mean, the new tweeter has absolutely nothing to offer against that original tweeter. So the 165F3 is a lot more of my style and taste. So unfortunately, this thing's going back. I am very, very disappointed. Now, I don't know how much of a difference a break-in period is going to do. I don't have time for a break-in period. They want this sucker back right now, the old stuff. This was a warranty exchange. And I feel bad because the guy, he said, I'm going to go to battle for you. And he did. He went to battle. He got me this same kit, even though this is $370 more than what I originally paid. He got it for me for the same price. Nothing. It costs me nothing. And I hate to be that critical kind of guy, but I love my sound, my music so much that it boggles my mind the difference between the $630 and the $999.99 and how much better my cheaper set is. And they're almost identical. Now, this is the only difference I can really see. Here's the one I took out. Here's the one I put in. You can see that the cone height or width is a lot more than the old one. And I figured that this would give me more vocals, more chance for the voice to come out. It didn't. If anything, it's quieter. And I don't know why. And it could be because it needs to break in. I get that. It almost doesn't move at all. This one, well, that one doesn't move either. Whatever. But this one has more rubber height to it, and this one's got a thinner rubber, width. So, and then the only thing I could tell between the new and the old here is it's got like an extra rib on the rubber, where this one's not. It's just all smooth. And granted, there's a little bit of stiffness compared to these ones. But if anything, I really hate doing this because the guy he went way above and beyond what I ever could ask of him, because giving me an upgraded kit for the same price and I'm going to deny it, after having installed half of it, that bugs me consciously. It bugs me. I'm not that kind of guy to stick my nose up in the air. But when it comes to my sound quality, when there's that dramatic of a difference in the quality and the older, cheaper stuff is better than the newer, more expensive stuff, that's anything today, really. But you know what I mean. Same brand, almost same model, but they're just vastly different. They play vastly different notes. And I don't like the new one at all. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to send it back. Now, the one nice upgrade over the mid-range is the old one used little itty-bitty Phillips screws to hold down the wire. That sucks, because when I got to pull the door panel off, you got to get up underneath there, because that's the bottom, pull up. I know I could put it on the top, but I don't want full cal upside down. OCD. But, you know, you got to get underneath there with a little bit of screwdriver, undo the wires, where the new one, it's got these guys. Hello. So that's nice. That is a very nice surprise. But, you know, it's a pain in the ass, as is, to swap over tweeters, because finding the right position for them, gotta grab the old tweeter on the passenger floorboard. You know, redoing all the wiring and whatnot, I still haven't got new ones, which is great because I'm finding the best place for them, apparently 10 times. But you know, everything is just different. Unfortunately, the way the tweeter mounts, and it's just different. And I want to say that the tweeters are the same shape, like cone-wise, for the most part. They're both got a dimple in the middle. And this one looks like it's maybe tapered on the outside. I just don't like. I think there's a rubber rim around that. I see that now. So I guarantee that helps muffle it down the way it's doing. And this one obviously is more of a, I don't know if it's titanium or what the heck it is, but it just brings out sound so much louder, so much more bold, brash. And they're both clear. Don't get me wrong, they're clear, but one's a lot louder than the other, and I want the louder. Now, the one thing I do remember seeing different on the specs is that the new stuff is 1 decibel less sensitivity. Whoop-de-doo, right? But for some reason, I just don't like the new system. So, as much of a pain in the ass as it is to get this thing out, because I did not give myself enough wire down here, so that's all I have to work with. It probably took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to get all them wires in there. Oh, to undo that, put the old one back in. Yay! But I was just disappointed. Not a surprise, right? Don't always get what you pay for, but to be honest, I do enjoy having a mid-range over not having one, like in the 2001. It just brings out that extra sound that you didn't have there before. So, and why GM ever had this high of a speaker thing, grill, when there was nothing ever here? Actually, I shouldn't say that. Yes, there was. There were tweeters here. But then they took the tweeters from here and put them up here. So then they had a blank spot up here. Well, they had a perfect opportunity to upgrade the sound system from the factory and put in mid-range and, you know, just have like in the Denali or something, just really go nuts with it. But they didn't. Cheaped out. Big time. Oh, but anyway, so that's my 2 cents on the thing. Obviously, everybody's got their own sense of sound. They prefer what they prefer, and for me, I prefer the old stuff. Just an FYI, in case you're wondering what the difference is between the two. One's duller sounding. It's smooth, but it's dull. The other one is crisp, and it's alive. It's very alive, and it's crisp. I wouldn't say as much smooth because it has that brash boldness to it. I don't know if my terms are colliding with each other, but just trust me. It's best I can do. I've never compared sound systems with adjectives before. Which one works better, you know? So, but that's the best way I can put it. Smooth but blunt, or smooth but dull. Ugh. Yucky. I hate dull. It's great for talk radio, but it's garbage for instrumental music, right? But everybody's got their own thing, so whatever. So that's what I'm doing over again. Great. All right. I want to say the kit I've got in the red truck, my 01, is a Ps165 Professional or Pro or whatever. It's not flax. It's 2 thing, and I've had it for 3, 4, 5 years now, and it's just been doing great. They aren't driven by an amplifier where the ones in the truck are now in the LBZ. So there's that. It's a JBL Stadium or something or other, something. I think it's 180 some watts or whatever, and speakers are rated at 160 watt max or whatever. I don't understand all the mumbo jumbo, you know, of hertz and ohms and whatever. I don't understand what they do. Okay. But I just know I like my sound quality. Crisp and clean. And throw a punch, Let her rip, tater chip. The old Focal does it for me, so unfortunately, it's getting late, and I got updates to come on the four-wheeler, so stay tuned tomorrow for that video. I mean, it's not anything massively exciting, but it's cool to me. I'm excited to finally have one, so stay tuned tomorrow for the four-wheeler update, because that's just going to be cool. It's going to be cool, man. So, hope you guys enjoyed the comparison between the 165F3E and F3. So, F3 being the $1,000 ones and the F3 being the 630 ones. So, quite the difference. And the price for quite the letdown. But you could almost say the more you pay, the bigger the letdown at this point. But I'm not bashing Focal because I like Focal. They have brought me a lot of good music. I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. It's just the F3E is not for me. So, alrighty. Thanks for watching. God bless.